Good morning.
Good morning.
It's so nice to see you all. Thank you for being here, especially on this beautiful day, and on Zoom, this beautiful Sangha. Thank you to my teacher, Galen Roshi, for this opportunity and for her continued guidance and teaching. Today marks the beginning of our second EPP module. Our first focused on Buddha. This one focuses on Dharma, and our last one will be Sangha. The three treasures in Buddhism are Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, also known as the triple treasure, the three jewels, or the three gems. If you were here for morning service, you chanted, "I take refuge in Buddha, before all beings, immersing body and mind deeply in the way. I take refuge in Dharma, before all beings, entering deeply the merciful ocean of Buddha's way. I take refuge in Sangha, before all beings, bringing harmony to everyone, free from hindrance." This taking refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha is a fundamental practice in Buddhism. It is said that Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha are like the legs of a three-legged stool. If one leg is taken away, the stool will fall. Together, the three treasures support and balance each other and our practice. In the book, The Heart of Buddha's Teaching, Thich Nhat Hanh, a revered Vietnamese Buddhist monk, peacemaker, and teacher, says, "When we take refuge in the Buddha, we express trust in our capacity to walk in the direction of beauty, truth, and deep understanding, based on our experience of the efficacy of the practice. When we take refuge in the Dharma, we enter the path of transformation, the path to end suffering. When we take refuge in the Sangha, we focus our energies on building a community that dwells in mindfulness, harmony, and peace. When we touch these three jewels directly and experience their capacity to bring about transformation and peace, our faith is strengthened even further. The three jewels are not notions, they are our life." He also says, "Buddha is the teacher showing the way, the perfectly awakened one, beautifully seated, peaceful and smiling, the living source of understanding and compassion. Dharma is the clear path leading us out of ignorance, bringing us back to an awakened life. Sangha is the beautiful community that practices joy, realizing liberation, bringing peace and happiness to life. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and of love. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community that lives in harmony and awareness." Today, I would like to focus on the third jewel, Sangha, because I experience this jewel every time I'm here with all of you, when we sit zazen together, when I greet you as you come in on a Sunday morning, when we take care of our temple, when we are together during a sesshin, a retreat, quietly moving in harmony as we take care of each other and our practice. When I look out and see your faces, I feel your energy, love, and support as you uphold and support me. If I were compelled to pick a favorite jewel from the triple treasure, I would pick Sangha. It is a very important part of my life, and it is a very important part of our practice. Here with all of you is where I listen to and experience the Dharma, where I'm in the presence of Buddha's teaching. Community is essential in our lives. I think we all experience the void of being separated from our communities during COVID. What joy we felt when we were able to be together again. My family and loved ones are my closest community. Our co-workers form another community. Though I'm now retired, I still have my teacher community. I have lifelong friends who I've known since my children were little. I also have my running community, my book club. These are groups of friends with whom I have a shared knowledge and experience. These are friendships that have seen me through difficult and joyful times. This community here at the Zen Center and on Zoom is a spiritual community called a Sangha. In this context, I'm using the word Sangha to refer to a specific community of practitioners, people who are following the spiritual path together, and this Sangha is essential to our practice. I'd like to share a story from Ananda from the Samyutta Nikaya, one of the 5 sutra collections that make up the official Pali Canon. Ananda was Shakyamuni Buddha's attendant and disciple, who is known for memorizing all of the Buddha's teachings. Ananda is talking to Shakyamuni Buddha and asks, "O Venerable One, when I think carefully, it seems to me that my having good friends and being with them is equivalent to my having already passed the middle milepost of the holy path. What do you think about this view of mine?" Shakyamuni responds, "Ananda, that's wrong. Such a view is not correct. Ananda, our having good friends and being with them is not equivalent to our having passed the middle milepost of the holy path. Our having good friends and being with them is itself the entire holy path." According to this story, Sangha is not only helpful in realizing the path, Sangha is the path. It is everything. Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha are not separate. There is no Dharma without Buddha and Sangha. Without this leg of the stool, without Sangha, there is no realization. The Sangha is this community with whom we find ourselves in this endeavor to live the awakened life, fellow seekers on this path. Being in this community, we are nurtured and guided by each other. My personal growth depends on being part of this Sangha and on the growth of my fellow Sangha members. You're here because I'm giving this Dharma talk. And I'm here giving this talk because you are here with me. I'm here because of you, and you are here because of me. We support and uphold each other. Being here together, chanting, sitting zazen side by side, taking care of our temple and garden, and listening to the Dharma, asking questions, as well as being gently nudged to grow and expand our knowledge and thinking within a supportive container, is what makes this Sangha thrive and grow. So does Chen. In his book, Opening the Hand of Thought, Kosho Uchiyama says that there's no one who can claim to always embody Bodhi mind, which is the mind that aspires to practice and attain enlightenment. However, each of us gathers and contributes his or her own little Bodhi mind to the general effort. I love that image of all our little Bodhi minds joining to form our Sangha. Here's another image of Sangha which I found in Shohaku Okumura's book, Living by Vow. Okumura talks about the fire of Buddha nature that is within us, the fire that enables us to aspire to practice the way. It can be difficult to find that fire within us, but though it may be just an ember, it is there, and we must find it. He says that when we practice with other people in our Sangha, we gather together our small fires, and together we become bigger than ourselves. The Sangha is a place to recharge our energy to continue on this path. Reb Anderson, our founder and teacher, expands this meaning of Sangha, saying, Sangha can be understood as our field of refuge. All those beings we turn to for support, encouragement, and teaching in our practice of dharma. He continues, in the widest sense, Sangha includes all beings and indicates the harmonious interdependence of things. Thich Nhat Hanh says that Sangha means a community where there is harmony, where there is mindfulness, concentration, and insight, and where there is togetherness and joy. There's no struggle for power and no division. He goes on to say, we need a community to support us in our practice. A community can offer the kind of environment we need to nourish and strengthen our aspiration so that we can get out of our personal and collective situation. To succeed on our path, we have to take refuge in a community. A community, a Sangha, is a boat, and everyone in this boat is practicing and going in the same direction. We are part of the boat, and we allow the boat to carry us. Without the boat, we would sink. Another lovely image of Sangha. He also says, this is my experience. With a Sangha, you will never feel alone. You will never feel lost. Just this week, I had a challenging day and was feeling quite drained. I walked into the foyer to attend Trisha's class and saw my Dharma friends gathered around the table. It was like a weight was lifted, and I felt lighter. As Leslie said to me, being here with our Sangha is like being washed by a cleansing rain. Isn't that lovely? I think that being in this boat, we can be at peace. I feel at peace when I walk through the door at the Zen Center, but I also feel it when I remember my Sangha. Sangha doesn't stay within this container. What we have here branches out into the other communities we inhabit. But at times we may leave the space and go back to our day-to-day lives and forget about this wisdom of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. In one of her Dharma talks, Galen Roshi mentioned taking Sangha with her as she moves in the world. I have found this practice very helpful, especially when I'm in a challenging or stressful situation. I pause, take a breath, and remember my Sangha, all of you, and who I am within this community, how it upholds me, and how we practice together. This collective wisdom is helpful as I decide how to move forward, remembering right speech and right action. As Reb Anderson says, Sangha are those beings we turn to for support, encouragement, and teaching in our practice of the Dharma, but it also branches out, often in ways that we are not aware of. As we, the members of this Sangha, move in the world, we can support, encourage, and teach those with whom we interact. As we chanted this morning, bringing harmony to everyone, free from hindrance. A community unified by harmony is one in which we can take refuge for the benefit of all beings. We can remember Sangha for the benefit of all beings as we move through our daily lives and as we meet whatever arises. A couple of Sundays ago, Sinchi Linda and Zenshin Greg gave a Dharma talk together, sharing their experiences as Zen teachers on pilgrimage. Linda started her talk by saying how wonderful it was to be here at the Houston Zen Center and to feel the warm, vibrant, deeply connected energy of the Houston Sangha. We create this energy together. What we have here is not to be taken lightly. Our Sangha is a community that cultivates harmony, a place where we support and nourish each other so that we can continue on this path. For me, being here together on a Sunday sets the tone for how I want to interact with the world. I definitely do not always succeed, but this is the place where I can practice, where I can talk to others who are on this same trajectory and who understand, who listen wholeheartedly, and who are there to help as we all sail together on this boat of our Buddhist path, this boat of our life. In her Dharma talk last week, Gail mentioned Maitreya Buddha, the Buddha of future birth, whose name comes from the word Maitri, meaning loving kindness. Thich Nhat Hanh believes that the future Buddha may very well be a community. He says, it is probable that the next Buddha will not take the form of an individual. The next Buddha may take the form of a community practicing understanding and loving kindness, a community practicing mindful living. He continues, to create communities of understanding, loving kindness, and mindful living may be the most important thing we can do for the survival of the earth. Those words give me hope, because isn't that what we do here? In our troubled world, we can continue to nurture what we have created in this space, because what we create here radiates out in many and often unknown ways. In talking to Reverend Tim about Sangha, he pointed out the painting in the Vimalakirti room. It hangs between the two windows, and it depicts a group of people gathered together, women and men from all different walks of life and of different ages, even a baby. Shakyamuni Buddha is at the front of the group, and Vimalakirti, a lay disciple of Shakyamuni Buddha, is among them. When you take the chairs back to the room, have a close look at that painting. You can see that they're all looking in the same direction, perhaps even walking in that direction together. A visitor to our center mentioned to Tim that it reminded him of our Sangha gathered together on a Sunday. Tim used the word miracle. Us being here together is not a mundane event. Different causes and conditions brought us to the Zen Center today, to be together, to practice together, to chant, to bow, to sweep and clean, to talk about the Dharma. It is a miracle to be here together, as is this Sangha with its warm, vibrant, and deeply connected energy. It is a miracle for which I am deeply grateful.